Now, I thought I was a bit of a guitar nerd. I mean, look at this. See, these books, I've actually read this from cover to cover. And this one. I've got these books. The Fender Stratocaster Haynes Manual, or the American guitars. But this week, I watched a video that made me doubt my nerdy credentials. It was Greg Koch, who's brilliant, and he's doing a video on Danny Gatton, who was one of my heroes. Danny Gatton Telecaster. So I sit down to watch the video. Here's the beginning.
Hey, you know what? I'm playing one of these glorious, I'm using the word glorious again, but you know what? It's a good word for guitars, I think. This is a Danny Gatton Fender Custom Shop version of a Danny Gatton Telecaster.
Oh, I've got one of those. This will be interesting.
Of course, it's got the Joe Barton pickup.
Check, Joe Barton pickups. Had to get that one replaced on mine, actually, so I know about those.
So you got the 22nd fret.
What? It's got 22 frets? I literally had to come out into this room, get the guitar down, and check it. That my one had 22 frets because I didn't know. What a letdown. I've really let myself down here, haven't I? So I knew, though, in the grand scheme of things, I wasn't really an uber nerd. I mean, you know, we've got the Dunning-Kruger effect, which says that you can't really gauge where you are in terms of your level compared to other people. But I knew I wasn't right up there, not like this guy.
So the width of the neck, guys, 42 millimeters is for me the best. If you want a vintage, slightly less than 42 millimeters, like 41.5, is also very good. You know, you don't want to be going smaller than 41 millimeters because then, you know, to do some nice chordal stuff down here especially.
I mean, to know the millimeterage of the width of the nut is pretty impressive. Well, that's beyond my skills. But to be able to feel the difference between half a millimetre, I mean, don't you need one of those little micrometer things for that? But he can feel it with his hand. Amazing.
You're going to get all knotted down here if you've got a small nut.
Obviously, nobody likes to have a small nut. But then I love the way he casually mentions what amp he's playing through. I mean, now this is proper nerding credentials when you can say you're playing through one of these amps. Now, it's one thing for me to go to a gig when the guitar gear in the back of my car is worth more than the car, but when you're playing an amp that's worth probably about half the value of your house, now that's proper nerdery. This is it.
I'm using a Dumble Overdrive Special 100 watt.
So this 22 fret business, I then suddenly started thinking, well, this is terrible. I don't know how many frets my guitars have got. I did know that this one has got 21 because I know that vintage Strats have 21. And I know that my very first Strat had 22 actually, so I'm not completely hopeless at this, which is over here. American Standard, this was my first Strat I got in about 1988, and that has the 22nd fret. But the second Strat I bought, which is over here, I bought both of these from my next door neighbour, Lenny Bennett. Hello Lenny, if you're watching. This is a Japanese standard from about the same era, and this had 21 frets. So then I started looking at my other guitars, and I discovered that this one, hang on, my Tyler Mongoose, this has got 22. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't ever play that note really. It's a bit dusty, isn't it? And if I did need to play a D, I bend up from that one. So, interesting. In fact, my Tyler Strat, I don't know if that's got 21 or 22 on. And I can't be bothered to get it out of the case to have a look right at this moment. And a few weeks ago, actually, I was listening to Cory Wong's Wong Notes podcast with the interview with John Mayer, which is a brilliant interview if you haven't listened to it. It's in 2 parts. John Mayer's going on about how people are always trying to sell him gear. And Cory Wong says he doesn't own any vintage Strats because he has to have 22 frets in his guitar. And I didn't really think anything of it at the time. I thought, oh well, because I didn't really think about having it on. And I don't know why he insists on that. I mean, does it really make much difference? This is the bit.
Do people try to sell you guitars knowing you'll buy?
No.
No one. There's not a music store in the world that goes like, "Hey, I got one for you, Cory. I think you're gonna like this one."
I'm a 22 fret Strat guy, so music stores hate me.
Do you have a custom color? You don't have like a vintage Strat?
Never have had one because I'm a 22 frets guy.
I see, 22 instead of 21? Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't. I think before the 80s, they weren't making 22 frets.
This is a very cost-saving feeling you have.
Yeah.
That one fret would have cost you $35,000 over 1 or 2 guitars or 3 guitars.
And then back to this other guy who knows his stuff. And he mentions about the number of frets as well. Check this.
You're going to get a neck made, or you're going to buy a neck for your build, then I would always go, I personally prefer 21 frets. I know Eric Clapton's Strat has 22, but he's playing maple necks, but I like the 21 fret.
So following my failure as a guitar nerd, I thought I'd just do a bit of playing instead to try and make up for it. So I'm going to do something on my 24 fret Stratocaster, and I'm going to play something in D minor, the saddest of all keys, so I can play that note. And I'm going to do something funky. As we heard Cory Wong, in that kind of style, I suppose. I've got my Quad Cortex set up here to loop. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit like and subscribe if you do. If you've been watching my channel, you'll know that I've received 2 copyright strikes on my channel for a couple of Eagles guitar solos that I did. And I've got 63 days until they get lifted. And if I get another copyright strike in that time, then my channel gets deleted. So that's why I'm doing these slightly shorter videos, not spending quite as much time on them in case the whole lot gets deleted unceremoniously. So anyway, here we go, a bit of playing now. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next week if I'm still here. Here we go. Octave pedal, octave. Do that on 21 frets.
Thank you.